Hey, it's Hannah. Hannah Baker.
Get a snack. Settle in. Because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended.
And if you're listening to this tape, you're one of the reasons why.
Initially, I started looking at people who support 13 Reasons Why, and to be honest, it just made me sad. I think for someone to connect to the characters in this show is because they can relate to the brokenness in them. Now, it's one thing to try to analyze why a character has issues, but I have no desire to examine or speculate about real life people. But I do want to talk about it because I think it's very important. Recently, a study came out linking the first season of 13 Reasons Why to a 29% increase of suicides for males between 10 and 17 in the first month after the show came out. Now, I'm going to use an extreme example, so bear with me for a minute. Let's say that 13 Reasons Why caused 100% of people under 18 who watch the show to commit suicide. That there's just something about it that messes with their psyche and pushes them over the edge. And without fail, they all take their own lives. At that point, I think it would be safe to say that we would never allow that to be seen. We wouldn't defend it, and we would potentially hold the show's creators legally liable for making it. At 100%, I say that's perfectly reasonable. But where is that line? How much death are we willing to accept? Is 95% okay? How about 50% or 10%? When do we as a society step and say that's not okay? This is not acceptable. Does anybody know? Does anyone have an idea? And I'm not saying that 13 Reasons Why caused 29% of its viewers to kill themselves. But there is a statistical increase the month after it came out. So where is the line? I don't know. I struggle with this myself because freedom of speech and freedom of expression is one of the greatest things about America. There are places all over the world where you can get in trouble for making a bad joke, speaking out against the government, or disrespecting a religion. And I personally find that terrible. Freedom of speech not only allows us to create change,
I have a dream,
but allows the ignorant to expose their bad ideas.
Do people make a choice to be gay?
No, God hates them and gives them up to their unclean lusts.
So they don't have a choice.
God does it to them.
It's one of our greatest tools for making the world a better place. But freedom of expression has to come with personal responsibility. If you go around hurting society with your free expression, you are putting others' liberties at risk. When you have experts telling you very specific things to not do in your TV show, but you disregard it because you think it's important to show the truth of the event, who holds you accountable then? Here are some guidelines for using suicide within media. Indicate that suicide is most often a fatal complication of different types of mental illness, many of which are treatable.
You see all these "don't kill yourself" posters up on the wall? They weren't up before. They put them up because she killed herself. And why did she do it? Because the kids here treated her like shit.
Jensen, that's enough.
But no one wants to admit it, so they paint over the bathrooms and put up a memorial because that's the kind of school that this is. Everyone is just so nice until they drive you to kill yourself.
Do not portray suicide in a heroic or romantic fashion.
Welcome back. So glad you're still listening. Are you having fun?
Exercise care with pictures of the victim and her grieving relatives and friends to avoid fostering over-identification with the victim.
Vampires, aliens, even werewolves, I get it. I get the motivation, I get the metaphors, right? But like zombies, they're just stupid.
So you hate zombies. You're zombie racist.
Avoid providing detailed description of method and site. Now, these are just some guidelines and best practices for using suicide in media. And most of these, they just completely threw out. And they kind of did the exact opposite. And the thing is, a 29% rise in suicides is disgusting. I know correlation does not equal causation, but it is something we need to consider. It's not something we should overlook and forget because it's not proven. I'm not calling for a boycott or for Netflix to cancel the show, but there needs to be some reflection on why these guidelines were disregarded and who should be in that position to make those decisions. From what I saw, it was just a way to elevate a bad show into infamy, shock people so they'll tell others, horrify your audience so they have to decompress with someone else. And I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't effective. But without it, the show would have been completely forgettable. But maybe we would still have some of that 29%.